Market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. Confused, stopped out, sold low, don't know when to get back in. Don't worry. I got it. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about what to listen to and what not to listen to. That's most of it. And then we're going to get back to crypto business. We're going to go over why you're in crypto to begin with, because I never stop about that. Then we're going to go over crypto charts, macro charts, and we're going to discuss how you can get some really, really exciting reports about what altcoins are next. Because I got news for you. I'm telling you right now. And I heard this from a guy on Twitter. Full credit to him. He calls it the asymmetric upside. That means your risk is this and your potential gain is this in altcoins. And I think Ethereum is included in that. So if that interests you, stick around. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, move that algorithm. Hit that like button. If you're watching the short videos or if you're not watching the short videos, but particularly if you're watching the short videos, please leave a comment down below. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell me what you had for breakfast. You get the idea. This show is brought to you by my Patreon. So this free news analysis show is brought to you by my Patreon, which you can join using this very subtle QR code. The link is down in the description. Patreon.com/unhinged crypto. The links are going to be in the description, on the QR code, and in the comments on the stream. For $15 a month, you get a membership. I will be publishing the new hot altcoin of the day. We have a list of coins for any potential alt season, which subscribers will get over the next 10 to 15 days. Kind of like one at a time. What's the hot coin for today? And to share screen, Patreon, in case you're allergic to a monthly membership, let me just bring this up because this matters. Okay. Inside the Patreon, we have a store, right? So those links are also down below, and 2 new reports have just hit. And this is where kind of like, frankly, the sales pitch actually meets the market update. The middle one is PolitiFi and the Fed. Certain tokens representing certain people who may be running for office that you can't talk about at all on media platforms. Well, guess what? I talked about it for 40 minutes. And you know what I called it? The big long. So, PolitiFi and interest rates. The big long. Everything you can't talk about, I talk about. Want long-term price targets? Interested in some of these tokens? Could some of the market caps be in the hundreds of millions or in the billions? What's the price target for your coin? Because I know you're out there. I know which coin you got. I know who you're a fan of. Can't even remotely say it. You know who I'm talking about. Plus, you'll find out which ones I like. A little bit of contrarian value investing. And I literally just right now, 5 gaming coins, low cap. You want to know when you want to be speculative? You want to know when you want to be greedy? When everyone is fearful. Want to know when you talk about gaming in the metaverse? When everyone's talking about fighting in the streets. Gaming metaverse really was sort of traded on the way up, has almost fully corrected. $12 for gaming coins. $35 for a complete plan for the summer on politics, economics, and how to make money from it all. So join as a member, buy a report, do one, do both. Here for you, because again, I know everyone's kind of wrecked. So you can either have a membership or you can buy the report separately. But, you know, as one of my competitors said, let's get that money. Let's do it. Okay, let's welcome here who is on the stream. Okay, done with my passionate pitch. Bull Runner is here. Welcome. John, all in on AERO. You know, may not be a bad idea, just saying. Okay, Ave Medina, welcome. A loyal Spartan, John Ryan, GF, Fuzz Crypto, Big BitBoy Al makes the show. The Fuzz Crypto, 11,600 subscribers, but who's counting? Hit that button. Gian, hello, everybody. Pancakes and peanut butter in the house. K9, Scott, Rotine Cheese, welcome. Joe Mike in the house. Great filibuster with the super chat reporting in from 6th Street Crypto. Sir, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Rotine Cheese, Arbitrum, and Optimism. You know, there are a few interesting coins I have found lately on Arbitrum. They got a cat coin over there that's kind of interesting, right? Holland is in the house. Philip DCA'd in. Yes, we were talking about DCA. By the way, 6th Street Crypto is the podcast in the members' Patreon. It's kind of like coaching along the way. Coaching, news, commentary, where I'm talking about those things, and TA. Donato is here. Art, right? I got to check Dodo for you. I'm going to write that down right now. Flying Tiger, Mo Money is here, right? Mo Money is here. Okay. Mike Rocks, Crypto Steph, Huckleberry Native in the house. A serious OG. Okay, here we go. News. Or at least the news we can talk about. Okay. Okay. Key takeaways from the latest Fed meeting from the economic geniuses at CNN. Oh my God, Powell's got to raise rates forever. Oh my God, Fed funds are going to 8%. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Wrong. Go to the store and get the report, and you will see how wrong. You will see. Oh, look at this face. Fed's Bowman says inflation to remain elevated for some time. Huh. Yeah, housing too expensive. Service sector falling out of bed. Chicago Purchasing Managers Index falling out of bed. Strange how we have a weak payroll number just in time for political conventions. Huh. Just in time to stop dollar yen from going up. I wonder how that happened. And we have this face telling us, oh, yeah, inflation, it's going to be higher forever. Let me ask you something. Where is the inflation? Oh, it's all in food. You know, we got like, I don't know, we got like sort of outbreaks of diseases among cattle, coffee prices going higher. It's like, are you guys trying to take my cheeseburgers and Starbucks away from me on purpose? Could that happen? Could the things that they're telling you about inflation either be maybe not true or engineered? Like, ooh, scary news, sell your crypto to BlackRock. Yeah, it could be. Oh, yeah, inflation's higher forever. Yeah, okay, lady, whatever. Where do you see the payroll number in July? Seriously. Bullish for Bitcoin. US M2 money supply going up again. A green shoot coming out of the ashes of Fed tightening. Yeah, money. Why? Well, I don't know. The Chinese got to print. We got a problem with our banks. I don't know anybody that doesn't have a problem with their banks. Dollar yen may have done some damage. Everybody's going to walk away from summer discretionary spending. Okay, you got to pay rent, you got to pay the mortgage, you got to pay the car, and you got to buy food. And how much money's left? Not much. It's called demand destruction. So when you have elevated prices, perhaps even artificially elevated prices, for what reason I can't talk about, what happens when things start falling out of bed in an election year? They got to start pumping money into the system. And all I can think about is Ethereum. Like, you know, I don't know, Bitcoin has kind of a, I don't know, it has kind of an obvious case, but maybe it's time for alt season. Like, did I just say that? Like, maybe the upside is in ETH. You realize that they left ETH below $3,000 for like, I don't know, the last like 18 hours? Are you going to look at this market in 6 months when this histogram is, up here, and go, wow, I could have bought Ethereum when this thing went boop? Think about it. Bitcoin's recent weakness is more tied to global markets than anything crypto specific, says Coinbase. As Brian Armstrong looks up and goes, I got all your crypto. I got all your crypto. Do you ever notice how, like, 1 minute it's geopolitical events? Ooh. Then it's inflation. Ooh. Then interest rates are going to 8%. Okay. Then inflation is going up forever. Yeah. How long did these stories last? A week? 5 to 10 days? How long do they last? Scare you, scare you, scare you, scare you. Come up with new stuff. Scare you, scare. FUD, FUD, FUD. How long does it last? Now, is it scary? Was I pulling my hair out at the lows? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Because it looked like it was going to break and go to zero. Because, they hit you with that news enough times, right? And especially when it's coming from suits at the podium. Not buying it. Want to know what my answer is to the news? The news that's true, the news that's not true, the news everyone gets wound up about. Yeah, okay. Let's take a 3 or 4 day break and go back to hitting the green button. You want to take my cheeseburgers and my Starbucks away and chocolate too? Yeah, that's going to make for a sane group of people out there. They're kind of like fighting in the streets everywhere, colleges. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? The green button, that's what this is. The green button. All day, every day for human freedom. The job market shifting towards skilled labor as white-collar hiring slows. Yeah, as in Silicon Valley laying off all kinds of people, right? Apple, I got it somewhere in here, I think, does $110 billion stock buyback. And watch, they wind up doing layoffs on top of it. I mean, it's capitalism. I'm not trying to change capitalism, but do you really want to invest in that? Really? Shouldn't they be making a Bitcoin wallet for the phone? Shouldn't they be making a separate Bitcoin wallet? Shouldn't they be doing something to help us with that $110 billion? Or are they just making like expensive listening devices? What do you want to invest in, and how cheap is it after this recent nuke? Meanwhile, back at the Bitcoin ETF ranch, no one is paying attention to Bitcoin ETFs in Hong Kong. There are twice as many there are more crypto users in Asia than there are in the US and Europe combined. They come out with an ETF where they're pumping $200 million a day. The Chinese are about to print with absolute reckless abandon to save their economy, their banks, and their real estate. I will save you having to read the macroeconomics textbook. However, if you want more details, it is in the Patreon store. Why is everyone blowing off this whole ETF thing in Hong Kong? You ever been to Hong Kong? I've been to Hong Kong twice. It's like taking 3 New York cities and sticking it in the middle of a jungle island. It's like gigantic skyscrapers filled with business and financial people everywhere. But yeah, probably nothing. Mr. 100 buys Bitcoin dip. Who's Mr. 100? I don't know. Let's take a poll. I want to vote Ray Dalio is Mr. 100 or some guy like that. Just absolutely hoovering this stuff up. Ray Dalio says, do you have enough non-debt money? Ray Dalio has been talking about social disorder. Did you know in the election of 2020, you had social disorder in May? Pretty intense social disorder. Why is NYPD going at it with kids from an Ivy League school and related parties? Isn't that kind of strange? Don't you think? Like, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, let's get those college kids. Okay. Whatever. You know, you're going to feed me that instead of a cheeseburger? Okay. I'm going to feed you the green button. That's what I'm feeding you. Okay. Bitcoin risk on spamming the buy button on the latest dip against the backdrop of signaling easing rates. So good point by Willie. Everyone seemed to ignore that Powell said they were going to drain less money out of the market. And they would be willing to chill out and lower rates if the labor market showed weakness. And of course, he knew the number. Yellen knew the number. The Bank of Japan knew the number, which is how they managed to stop dollar yen from going up, which is fantastic news for us, which is why crypto bottomed. Like if dollar yen was just going to explode, I went radio silent during that whole thing because I'm like, oh my God, what do I think of this? And luckily, I didn't buy into the hysterics. They can still do things. They can still rally the dollar on Sunday night when it's just the Asia session opens. That's when you may get dips. But you know what? If you don't, like maybe the dip is in Bitcoin, but everything else, you get another opportunity. Let them sell this market on the macro news, right? I told Patreon, DCA in May, DCA. Every time they hit it, if they hit the market 6 times between now and the end of June, either you're going to have a mini alt season now while Bitcoin chills out, or you're going to get the DCA in May for something epic later in the summer. Either way, the case to get involved in crypto, the case to get PolitiFi tokens, the case to know the upside targets, the case to look at gaming. Like, what are you looking at? What no one else is looking at. Okay. Snowden, get a privacy layer for Bitcoin. How far do you think they can take whatever it is they, who shall remain nameless, are doing right now before someone goes, you know what? I think I want secret network or some kind of related coin. And if they do, how much can they go up? Hey now, Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming, the Texas of the North, adopting a Texas Alamo theme. Come and take it. You want my Bitcoin? Come and get it. When I saw this, this went out at the low. Congratulations to both Cynthia Lummis and Toby Ward for calling the low. That video is on my Twitter, crypto_noble. Little podcast we did for the Patreon group. Basically, she just looked at the camera and said, I don't understand why everyone's so upset. One day before the low. Crypto market sell-off was driven by retail investors, said JPMorgan. Yeah, and you fudding the market. You know, Diamond with this whole thing about 8% rates. You guys can go fill in the blank. Crypto market was driven by massive speculators pushing smaller people out and right into the hands of the institution. I mean, BlackRock was holding a digital asset summit while everybody was busy panicking. And those guys are all on the coffee breaks. You know, like, oh, wow, look at this, down 20%. Awesome. I thought Larry was going to make us pay $80K for Bitcoin, and now they're all selling it, and that and ETH and everything else. Crazy, right? Everybody forgot why they were in crypto. Coinbase, oh, probably nothing. Surged $1 billion in profits in a quarter on the ETF frenzy. What is going to happen if this market isn't orderly like stocks? If it goes up, then makes a higher low, then it goes up, makes a higher low. What happens if that goes on all throughout the rest of this year? What if all the assumptions about economics, all the assumptions about politics, all the assumptions about currencies, all the assumptions about interest rates, all the assumptions about banks, all these assumptions, they're basically all wrong? And what happens if crypto is the only answer? And what happens if you don't have it? Because they scared you out. Now, if you got stopped out, I mean, I got stopped out. I lost money. Everybody lost money. People are either, you know, stopped out, lost money, majorly wrecked, whatever. Don't let them chase you out of the market. Timing is important, obviously. Time in the market is just as important. Learn that at Schwab. Okay. Okay. Here's my Twitter. Okay. Here is the link, the advertisement for the report. Here is Miss Ward, right? Miss Ward and me saying she's ready for, instead of gradually, she's ready for suddenly. You want to see that video. April jobs report shows, not only was there a slowdown in hiring, but wage growth moderated and the unemployment number picked up. Wow. So last month it was, at least allegedly, gangbusters, and now a perfect number appears. How nice. How nice. Well, literally very nice for the Bank of Japan, the Japanese, because we don't want their currency to melt down because everyone's buying the dollar. So that part is genuinely very nice, but amazing how that number showed up just in time. And how many of these numbers are they going to have to show that either reflect reality or perhaps are slanted towards whatever allows the Fed to get dovish? I mean, do you realize that the bond market went from, you know what? Let me not tell you that. That's in the report. You really should go check it out about politics and the Fed. Okay, here's the Apple stock buyback, right? Perfect thing to be doing with your money. Okay, an example quickly, just because I had the chart up. This is True Finance, TruFi, right? TruFi goes way up and then goes back to the 62% retracement. They dropped it down there twice. And you know what? It's kind of still down there. And I like the fact that it's not running away. It's like, okay, an orderly move. Maybe we get a dip. Hey, maybe we don't. Maybe the dip is in Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin's got overhang until the Fed gets going. And these alts, you know, once these people who are trapped are out of the way, just go up. DeFi, gaming. By the way, all in the store. There's a big DeFi and RWA report. There's a layer 1 report in there. We got a fully populated store of altcoins we like. What are we waiting for? Right? Like, who has your interest? Who do you want in control of your future? The people in the news or you? I vote you. How about that? Odds of a September rate cut just jumped 53%. Well, imagine that. Imagine that. First, you know, we had one perception of interest rates. Oh, now we have another. And wait till you mix that with the political conventions over the summer. Forget about it. You got to get the report. It's like $30. Trust me. People are charging $200 a month for research. I am there for you with stuff that's affordable. Daniel J says Hong Kong was amazing. Was amazing. Huckleberry Native, right? Talking about Saudis. Raj Paul is here. Welcome. Welcome. Ashton, send it. Flying Tiger says Mercury is direct now. Dude, thank God. Man, that astrology stuff was just awful. Awful. Okay, Steve wants me to look at AERO, Bunk. I'm gonna actually do live TA on the fly before I go to PowerPoint. Okay. By the way, just in case you think this runaway inflation story, house prices fall in in half of U.S. states. Breaking news from the Eagle King. Okay, sharing screen. There's the news story about housing prices. Okay, completely falling out of bed. Live TA. Okay, AERO. I'm not sure it can look any better, to be honest. Like, if you look at this, somebody was asking me, like, what's the difference between some coin falling apart and some coin holding? So AERO goes up from 6 cents to $2. You'll never get to buy it again. It falls exactly to the 62% retracement, below $1, and now it's at $1.20. And what happens if AERO, the current market cap on this is 1.2 billion. And what happens if this mechanism through Base becomes like Uniswap and Jupiter put together ×2? Because on Base, you have a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp using the Coinbase wallet. Like, what is the trading volume going to be on this in Base if you have alt season and Ethereum at 5,000? Because that's what Base uses. There's no Base token. It's just ETH without the gas fees. And you can get it here. And if you miss the low, don't worry about it, because the definition of the low is everyone misses it. There's no selling at the top and there's no buying at the bottom. 3 green candles. It's called a green shoot, meaning like, you know, the forest burned down and now like the little green plants are starting to pop out of the ash. Okay. Dodo, for one of my Patreon members who patiently waited for it. I appreciate that. Okay. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but this might be like a layer 1 protocol. But it's okay if I do it not knowing what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, this is the flip side of all this wild price action. And people are probably like, well, I missed the low. Actually, no, you didn't. Because you know what? The 62% retracement is at 18 cents, right? So this thing is now just starting to climb back above the key levels after doing, God, whatever this was, man. This is awful, awful, right? It's like go down, recover, everything's fine, right? Wrong, drop it again. The double drop. It's like you get the overshoot and then you get another overshoot. And sometimes with these bearish, these bull market corrections, you can get a third overshoot. Terrible, right? Good if it recovers, and it's probably going to. It's just a question of when, right? The whole market looks like this. DGen looks like this. They all do. They all do. Like every single market looks like this. Okay, Arbitrum. Okay, remember optimism is connected to Base. You know, that's kind of like a big cap play, you know, if you're into that particular network. Okay, so Arbitrum has got work to do to come back above the 62% retracement at 123. But again, look at what they did to this thing. This was at $2. It's like it lost half its value. And it's kind of holding support in that congestion zone, right? So, you know, if you like this and wanted to take a shot, take a shot. If you're a bag holder and you're stuck, well, wait to see if it gets above, $1.22. Okay, Doge, just continuing on with live TA, and then I'm going to PowerPoint because you got to see these Solana charts. Okay, so I'm really glad someone brought this up because this was scary AF, right? So you have Doge, you have a head and shoulders top, or so you might think. It was the scariest chart I could draw, and guess what they're doing in Doge? They're invalidating the head and shoulders top, potentially, by getting back above this line. Now, if it fails there, that would not be good. But if Doge can keep on trucking, the most bullish thing is an invalid bearish formation. So if there's a dip on Sunday night and they can't smack this market, it could be alt season led by ETH, Doge, Solana. It could happen. It could absolutely happen. Go into PowerPoint for your market update. Okay. U.S. service sector contracts for the first time since December 2022. Is there anything not falling out of bed? When you check that report in the Patreon store, you come back and tell me if there's anything not falling out of bed. And then what's going to happen when you mix economics and politics? You watch what happens in this market. So DXY, wow, they did a wonderful job scaring everybody with the dollar, and it hits a 13 top and comes off hard. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a confirmed 13 top. Now, dollar yen, again, The Bank of Japan saved the yen. Good for the Bank of Japan. Like, I give governments and central banks a hard time. I'm glad they were able to stop their currency, because that would have been a huge mess for everybody, including us. But if they have that under control, even if there's a little bit, even if they start again on Sunday nights, like crypto may go up Friday and Saturday and go down on Sunday. Who knows? Who knows if they're done playing games? But this, to me, that looks like a top. Even if they try to bounce it, it's going to get sold, in my opinion. Bitcoin, 9 bottom. Okay, DeMark work measures where you are in a trend. Keeping it simple. Okay, if you're at a 9 or a 13, that means the trend is either going to be, could be temporarily or permanently interrupted, and it could go the other way. So there's every reason to believe that that could be a bottom in Bitcoin. Now, I do not want to see a terrible failed rally. That would be awful. That would be awful. But if it holds together, very, very good. Inflation. Oh my God, it's terrible. Oh my God, it's going to be here forever. Yeah, okay. So this is called a inflation break-even. It's a metric in the bond market that measures how scared they are about inflation. So back in 2022, they were actually very scared, and they were right. And now, I don't know. Yeah, okay. It wasn't a problem, and then it was a problem, but not to the degree of, like, if you listen to the media, it was like the end of the world. It so isn't. The bond market metric for inflation fear, okay, it went to a high end of its range. It went to a trend line. Come on, right? All this food inflation, right? It's like, oh, wow, we have bird flu in cows and Walmart's hamburger being recalled for E. coli right before Memorial Day, where everyone barbecues. That's kind of weird, don't you think? Is that actual inflation, or is that weirdness? And am I going to sell my crypto on weirdness when the bond market doesn't think it's a problem? If the bond market thought it was a problem, this blue line would be number go up. Solana, it doesn't get any better than this. Honestly. I mean, they'd have to come up with something crazy. Just like this dotted line is drawn by this quantitative system that makes all these numbers. So Solana goes down, goes back up, goes back down, gives you a nice little double bottom feel to it. And they give you the 13 bottom signal and the 9 bottom signal and back-to-back candlesticks. That's like right out of a book. Like, Solana, 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 Solana. Did you know that you can now trade Solana and Solana coins inside the Coinbase wallet, which, as I said, has a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp? What are you going to think? What's going to happen when normies discover base coins and Popcat and pajamas and political coins all at once? Where is this going? I don't know. How about 300? Is it going to go today? I don't know. I actually like the fact that it's kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I like it, but I'm still a little worried. Okay, you stay worried. Little fears is good. Right? Keeps you on your toes, right? Slowly, right? Gradually, then suddenly. This can happen. So, and remember, Solana underperformed ETH. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at this. This is a 4-hour chart, and all these candlesticks right here. This is ETH below 3,000. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 24-hour bars below 3,000. Nope, I don't want my Ethereum. Please take it from me. You know who took your Ethereum down at 3,000? Not your Ethereum, but you know who took everybody's Ethereum down at 3,000? BlackRock. Right? Michael Saylor doesn't think ETH is going to be okay. I think ETH is fine. It's fine. Right? And it's necessary. Because I don't know how you're going to build a decentralized version of the internet, because there's a whole bunch of things I could say about the internet and speech and social media. Forget about it. I can't talk about it. Now, I talked about it in the report. I can't talk about it. You're going to run Web3 without ETH? No, you're not. And we're running Web3, by the way. PAL. Okay, a classic, a favorite AI play. Okay, it's in our report called 9 Fast Altcoins. Look at what they did to this thing. Look at how many days they spent on this trend line, hammering this thing down. Oh my God, everybody out, everybody out, everybody out, everybody out. Aiken's talking about ICP. Yeah, absolutely, man. Why not? We'll pull up the chart. This is unbelievable. This could be a $2 coin. It started at 10 cents, went to 90, and they were selling it at 30 cents 2 days ago. They're like, please take my coins. I'm so upset about news that I won't even remember in 2 months. Anybody remember? Oh my God, conflict overseas, world war imminent. Do you even remember that? Same thing with all this news that we got now. Gaming, check the report out. Check it out. Daniel J, weirdflation. Yeah, bro. Very weird. Very weird. You know what I'm calling it? I'm calling it some of this inflation might be engineered. Because if everything's falling out of bed, how can you have price pressure? Unless, I don't know, someone wants price pressure for whatever reason. Who cares? Okay. I don't care. You know, they want to you want to have conflict, disorder, news that may not be accurate. Okay, man. Okay. Because you know what? You know what? The only thing they can't control? Price. Price. Okay. ICP seemed to hold up pretty good. Okay. Actually, never even could get to the 62% retracement. It's interesting, right? And if I did anything with this, it's a little live TA action for you. It's not the greatest thing I've ever drawn, but it's kind of cool. I like it. You know what happens when you break out of these formations? I mean, the rallies can be absolutely epic when you break out of these formations. By the way, speaking of that, let's take a look at Ondo, because I thought there was one of these formations, a bearish formation, and it turns out it wasn't bearish. I got to do a redraw on this. This is like BlackRock's real world asset coin, which of course everyone forgot about as BlackRock is holding a conference. And you got any idea how much this kind of stuff can go up, right? The targets on this, if I just draw this, and like I said, we could sit here and I could draw this stuff all day. Maybe not a diamond, but this went to the 38% retracement of its rally. And here's the possible upside target. By the way, if you like live TA, a comment down below or the like button, which, I would humbly ask that everyone hit all at the same time so that we could drive the stream to drive the Patreon. And I thank all my members who help support this free content. Okay. I don't know. How about Ondo going from 81 cents to $1.30? Or how about a measured move? Right? Maybe this diamond is some kind of a flag and you clear all this off and basically yeah, okay. So we did this, right? And now we're going to turn around and do the same thing that way. It's called a measured move. Why not? I mean, you think this can't happen with BlackRock behind it? Consensus coming up at the end of the month? Bitcoin may be a little sluggish. Somebody was, we're looking at Bitcoin dominance. Kind of incredible that, you broke out at the top of the triangle. So weird. So hard to trade. It's hard to figure out what this means. But you know what? It could be this. Okay. It could be an upward sloping wedge. An upward sloping wedge is like a runner on a treadmill. Okay. And the incline is increasing. And as it increases, Okay. The lactic acid pumps and they start to get more tired, and that incline gets higher. And as they get more tired and more tired and more tired, they collapse. So what happens if Bitcoin dominance goes this way? What happens if this is a breakdown and today is a return move and Bitcoin dominance winds up going from 54 back to 50, which is where it was over here back in September? Where's ETH and where's Solana if that happens? So this is not hating on Bitcoin at all, but I'm saying how far can Ethereum and Solana outperform Bitcoin if there's another rally that gets going? Like, what happens if Bitcoin just sits there and Ethereum experiences some kind of rebirth? Shepdog just did Ondo, okay, when BRC20, okay, Trisha is down with live TA, Joe Mike looking for Crow, most likely an underrated play, especially with that debit card. And wouldn't you know, right? You know, they gave you such a nice entry point for this rounding bottom. So nice of them to do that for us. Like the rounding bottom at like 12 cents. You realize that if this thing is the bigger the base, the higher in the space, meaning the longer something sits down here after a vertical down move like that, the more vertical the up move is. I think you get the point. Okay. Is it factual that there are at least 1 to 2 dips of 20% or more every 2 to 3 months during a crypto bull cycle? Yeah. 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 You can have that. I mean, there was a monster DeFi crash, a monster DeFi crash. Let me see if I can bring this up. I don't know if the DeFi perp contract has it or not. I mean, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, right? You know, again, I remember DeFi back in 2020. And I mean, DeFi went, yeah. So the perp contract has like the tail end of it. So this is in a monster bull market. So this was the end of DeFi summer. So let me label this, because I didn't cover the history of crashes, but I'm covering it now. So this is for everyone who stayed on the stream. Okay, DeFi perp. This was the end of DeFi summer. So all of a sudden, the bull market takes off on COVID printed money. And then for September, October, okay, and into November, the market was down only. Like, look at the tail end of this at the end. You're like, oh, yeah, no big deal. This is like down, 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 down. Me and my boss at the time were like scrambling to get on TV for Black Friday, right? Black Friday sale. Like, oh my God, don't give up on crypto. Boom, boom, boom. And we were on TV on Christmas, and then this thing launched. Everybody was like, it's over. It's over. It wasn't over. Matter of fact, it hadn't even started. You don't even notice this crash by the time DeFi perp got done going up. By the time it got done going up, right? And by the way, I think DeFi perp, if you want to just go back to it for a second, because we do have a DeFi and real world asset report, and we think DeFi is going to be for real. People are going to want out of the legacy system. Here was a prior high, right? Here was a takeoff point. Here's the 62% retracement, and DeFi holds. Okay? DeFi holds. So, okay. Here's the bottom line. Don't give up on crypto. DCA in May. It's not investment advice, but you got to remember why you're in crypto. And there are certain plays that are actually, like, there are altcoins that are actually down today, right? And you go through that Patreon store, you know, you could get more altcoins in more sectors. Like, okay, what do I do in gaming? What do I do in RWA? Get in the store. Join the group. One altcoin every day for the next 10 days. Join the group and stay in the group. Starbucks is too expensive. $15 is cheaper. Lunch at Taco Bell, $14. Patreon. Come on in. Don't quit on crypto. We are back. We'll see you on Monday.